Generally, what we have come to, I just want to give an overview in terms of the industrial symbiosis, which is a national industrial symbiosis program, as to how have we arrived to that point where we talk about industrial symbiosis strategy. If you were to reflect back for those who participated, we had sort of like a joint sitting, which is like a meeting of the parties, not necessarily Congress of the parties, but we had a meeting of the parties wherein we decided that as a result of other initiatives that has already been started, like you look at your Green Cape and you look at the other initiatives, we just launched Gauteng Industrial Symbiosis. Okay, this is how we're just going to look at towards the national industrial symbiosis and also look at the way forward. If we look at the logos there, we've got partners and participants in terms of the national industrial symbiosis strategy, which is your economic development here in the KZN, and also in Gauteng pilot, we've got Gauteng Department of Gauteng as a province, and we have got Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, which is called GDAD, and we also have economic development. These are partners departments that also have a shared mandate in terms of the deliverables. If you look at these 6 steps, you find that at first we had a need to develop an institutional framework and the implementation plan for a national industrial symbiosis program in South Africa. And then the second step was to have industrial symbiosis program scoping and roadmap developed for Gauteng province. And then what follows that is the knowledge transfer and building of industrial symbiosis capacity in the country, in South Africa, and also establish a pilot industrial symbiosis program in KwaZulu-Natal, which is currently running. It has been running, it has been launched. And we also have to demonstrate synergies that were implemented as a result of industrial symbiosis and resource efficiency cleaner production program. And also lastly, awareness raising and knowledge sharing with other African countries. When we come to other African countries, we just been to Egypt, wherein we were sort of like collaborating and also bringing an awareness and also sharing them the experience thus far from South Africa. And the experience has been fantastic. They are looking forward to learn more from what we have actually done as South Africa under the Industrial Symbiosis Program. There was a steering committee that was, I refer to the joint sitting that happened in July, before we could even talk about the strategy itself. So there was a meeting where a number of people participated from the national departments, from the local government, also from provincial departments, and also other role players within the industries, your NBIs and others. They also participated in that meeting. As a result of that meeting, maybe some of them could see themselves there. I just thought after lunch we need some pictures to reflect, so that people can be entertained as well. So the stakeholders that were actually identified at a national government, you look at the Department of Trade and Industry, you look at the Department of Economic Development, Department of Environmental Affairs, Department of Science and Technology. At an industrial level, we also identify NBI, National Business Initiatives and others, and also South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And then when we look at the delivery agency, we look at, it was a sort of like an overwhelming agreement by the members who attended the meeting that NCPC is well positioned to actually lead the strategy as a delivering agency. And we also identified the Green Cape, having had the experience in terms of running the WISP, which is called Western Cape Industrial Symbiosis. So there's a lot of WISP and GISP and KISP in between. So I'm not sure about the KISS in between, but there's a lot of KISP, GISP and the likes. But those are the delivering agencies. And from the regional representative, we look at the Gauteng as a pilot project, KwaZulu-Natal as a pilot project. As I've already indicated, the Western Cape has been running under the leadership of Green Cape. So in those meetings, the meeting that was held where I showed you the pictures, there were key questions that were actually asked or identified by the working group as to what are the potential benefits of industrial symbiosis for business and the economy in South Africa. Then we're looking at return on investment, like from the government point of view and from the industry point of view. And we also ask ourselves, is there currently an enabling environment for this? How do we create an enabling environment for this policy and incentives? Then Anben initially was talking on from the regulatory point of view. It was very encouraging to see them becoming part of our strategy development. Is it necessary to develop a separate industrial symbiosis strategy, or can we use the already existing policies that are currently in place? How do we shape the existing and fledgling programs to ensure that industrial symbiosis is embedded in the industry practices? Those were the questions that we asked ourselves. And in order to answer some of those questions, we therefore initiated, or we therefore engaged into a fact-finding process or a fact-finding exercise, wherein we appointed one of the service providers to actually do the scoping exercise, which were to try to answer those questions that we've actually elaborated on the previous slides. Because under normal circumstances, one wouldn't just wake up and say, today I need a strategy. There must be some compelling reasons. There must be some there must be an exercise which actually try to identify whether there's a need for a strategy or there's no need for strategy. After the scoping exercise was concluded, and it was clear that we needed to have a strategy as an umbrella body, which will therefore try to serve as a platform to provide advisory role in terms of your legislation, in terms of the risk that could be actually incurred towards the industrial symbiosis, and also support that will be required. Because what we have tend to actually agreed as the collective is that gone are the days where industries will sit on the other side, and then the regulator will sit on the other side saying, look, we are waiting for you to make a mistake. We needed to have a different methodology to actually ensure that we become more proactive than being reactive in terms of the industrial symbiosis program. As a result, the study was done. If you could see that there's a right there, which shows that this process has been done as part of phase 1. Then the phase 2, which is a strategy development. This is something that will unfold in a few months to come, wherein we start to package the whole strategy in a form of like having a strategy. The end result will have to have a strategic plan and also have an implementation plan. So again, the leading institution is the NCPC, as it has been identified as the national leading institution that could actually drive. And of course, with the involvement of various stakeholders, from industrial players, from your regulators and policy making competent authorities from national, provincial, and as well as from the local government point of view. And then the phase 3 will look at implementation modalities as to how do we then implement this program. Remember, the strategy is actually unfolding parallel to the pilots that are currently existing in the different provinces. Like you've got your Gauteng industrial symbiosis, you also have your KwaZulu-Natal industrial symbiosis that is currently happening. But the strategy is therefore important to actually streamline all the processes within the different pilot projects. Because for now we're looking at these 3 provinces. But believe me, in the next few years, there could be an opportunity to roll it to other provinces as well. Therefore, we needed a strategy which will also address issues around reporting and aligning all the activities from different provinces or different initiatives. And for that, I would like to thank you. That was my last slide, and you can reach us from NCPC point of view, given the contacts mentioned below. Thank you.